Hello everybody, it's Professor Parish, and it's week 4 already, which is crazy, right? We are already at midterm, the halfway point of the semester, and the rest of the semester is going to go by very quickly. So apologies for getting this video out a little bit later, but without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into what is happening for week 4 in our English 109 class. So week 4, there is one assignment in particular is a little bit different than normal. Your compare and contrast paper is due this weekend, so I really liked the thesis and outlines that I saw for this paper. I thought they all worked fantastic. It's made me really excited to read your papers. I liked every single one of them that was turned in, so kudos to you all. Way to go. That paper is due by Sunday. And then our week 4 discussion forum, the posts are due by Friday. Responses are due by Sunday as well. The grammar review number 3 is not set up any different than we've done before, just to show you all kind of what it looks like. It's due Sunday as well. Let me pull it up here. All right. And let me put it out here. Here we go. Yep. So on this one, you're just going through and writing the incorrect verb and then the correct verb beside it. Doing the same here. Numbers 6 through 10 are extra credit, so definitely take advantage of that. And then you're just writing the correct verb and whether it's singular or plural here. And page 480 goes over that as well. And then you're finding 2 mistakes in the sentences with the verbs and writing them down. So it's all about verbs this week. And I really like pages 470, 466 through 470 and how they talk about verbs, incorrect verbs, verbs are weird because of the English language. If you're an English major, then you go through the history of English grammar and how verbs change over time. And the verbs that we use a lot seem to be the ones that change as English changes over the centuries. For example, we don't talk the same way that Shakespeare and Old English talked, back in the 1400s. We don't say thou shalt not. We say yeah, you will, or I did, So the way that we use verbs is a little bit different than how we did centuries ago. And the reason for that is that as language changes, we basically keep what's the most popular way we say things and we discard the rest. So, just think about that. In the last decade alone, we've had new nouns, we've had new, to like something is no longer just what we think of as like, it's now attached to social media. To follow someone doesn't just mean that you stalk behind them, it now means something with social media, so that there's a lot of new meanings with things. And that's just how language is, and it's kind of cool because English is sort of the opposite of math. Math is static, it's constant. 2 plus 2 will always equal 4. But with English, it's ever evolving and changing with the population that uses it, so it's kind of a cool thing. But that's why some verbs look different than others. That's why we have irregular verbs, and our text on page 466 to 470 talks about this. So it should be a pretty easy grammar assignment. I know some of you have already done it and did very well on it, so I'm not too worried about it, but it's due Sunday as well. And then finally, this is the assignment that is a little bit different, our midterm check. So this is a test that is due by Sunday at 11:55, and I click on it here. It's basically just a midterm exam. It goes over in our textbook the different chapters we've looked at so far, so it is open book. There is no time limit on this test. You can only take it once though. So when I open up this test, the nice thing about it is that it's not timed, and I actually have a feature on here that will let you save. So there's 4 sections, which you can see right up here. There's 4 different pages. Most of them are fill in the blank. Most of them are short answers that are from your textbook. So you'll notice it's not timed. There's only 17 questions, and each question, it tells you how much it's worth beside it. So question 2, for example, is worth 10 points, whereas question 1 is worth 2 points. If I start this exam, let's say I just started it right now, and all of a sudden I got a phone call, and I have to go somewhere, and I'm like, I can't finish it. I will go up here to the Save Progress button, and I'll click it. You'll notice a timestamp will pop up, and then that means I can exit the exam by pressing this exit button. Now, when you go back to the test, you'll notice one of two things. You can either resume your test, or you can turn it in. Don't turn it in unless you're done. So click the light blue resume button, and it's going to take you back to where you saved it. So it's going to tell you your progress hasn't been saved because now you're starting over again, but you can save it over again. You just click that Save Progress button, and it'll save it right there. So you can go through, it will let you go back and forth, so there are multiple choice questions on here. Some more short answer questions, and then the last page you'll see that there are some short answer questions. Now, at the very end, it will ask you if you want to submit the exam. Once you click that submit button, then your test is turned in and you will not be able to go back and retake it. So don't press this submit button unless you are done. You can keep saving and going back to it as long as you hit that save button before you exit. Now you'll notice up here that, let me go back a page and show you. If I go back a page, let's say that I forgot a question, so I went back to answer it. It'll say your progress hasn't been saved. You need to save it as soon as you get to that question, okay? But then you can go back and turn it in, all right? You just have to, each new page you go on, you have to save if you're going to exit the exam. And then when you're done, you can turn it in, or you can resume back here and turn it in as well, okay? So I try to make the exams pretty straightforward and pretty, not easy, but pretty easy to manage, just because I'm not a test taker. So, and then if I go back to the assignment list, you'll notice I haven't turned my test in, so it is telling me that I can finish the exam. Okay? So the grammar review, the midterm exam, and the paper are all due by Sunday. And then with your discussion forum, posts are due Friday, responses are due Sunday as well. So nothing too crazy. We're going over Chapter 7 and Chapter 18 this week. Chapter 18 is just finishing up compare and contrast, talking about research. And then Chapter 7 is just continuing on our discussion about writing. So if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. But otherwise, everybody's doing good in the class. As long as you're turning in your assignments, and those of you that have turned in all of your assignments and have been on time with them, you all are doing great. So just keep doing what you're doing. If your grade isn't where you want it, we are at midterm. So this is kind of the halfway point in the class. So if your grade isn't exactly what you're wanting right now, the big thing is, the biggest piece of advice I can give is to turn in every assignment that's listed. Don't leave anything out. Complete all of the assignments and turn them in on time. That is your biggest help, because your papers, you can revise it. As long as you turn in a draft, you can revise it. Your assignments, as long as you're doing them and following the directions, you should be getting a good score on them. And so far, the students that are doing that in this class are doing well. So if you don't have the grade right now that you want, you definitely have time to get that grade, but you have to start now in following through and making sure you're getting everything done on time and correctly. All right? And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask me, because I am here to help you the best I can. I won't do any assignments for you. I won't give you an extension if you're late, since you have a whole week to do the assignments. But if you have questions or if you have an emergency, please let me know and I will work with you. All right? So as far as midterms go, have a great week. Good luck on your exams, and I will talk to you all again soon.